Okay, well, thanks for coming back. All right, so here we are on the all-important skill number 10, the skill of negotiations. So if you've got your pad out, what you want to do is just go ahead and pull out pen and paper, and let's go ahead and get this written down. 10, all right, when we're talking about negotiations, all right, really what we're talking about is, whether it be for negotiations on a contract or negotiations with a seller, when you're trying to talk to them about price, when you're initially trying to buy it, or when you're trying to, perhaps you've decided to resell it, go ahead and assign the contract to someone else. So you're talking about negotiations with the end use buyer, whether you're talking about negotiations, let's say on a rehab or something like that, where you're trying to work with an appraiser, obviously, and persuade him that the value is not really, like 90,000, but I mean, it's actually a little bit more. Whenever you're in any kind of negotiations, these three factors are factors that you want to take into consideration, especially if you're a new wholesaler, especially when you're talking about with a seller or between yourself and the end use buyer. That's specifically who this is geared for, okay? So the first thing is, emotion and drama, all right, always kills negotiations, okay? Emotion and drama always kills negotiations. So it doesn't matter what it is. If you're negotiating, let's say with a realtor, you want to get this realtor to present your offer, and you're saying, oh, this realtor is an idiot, because they don't get it, they don't listen to me, they don't like my side of the story or whatever, okay? Emotion and drama will kill any chance you have to work that out. If you approach it instead with a, listen, this is kind of what I want to do. I want to, maybe buy this house. How do I make it happen? Well, then they're operating from a different place. They're happy to help you. Let's say you're dealing with a seller, and you're talking to this seller and you're saying, well, Mr. Seller, your house is just like everybody else's down the street, and everybody else down the street is getting foreclosed on. Logic at that point, is not necessarily going to work for you, but your emotion and drama about it certainly will not help you. When you could certainly say, well, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I'm a homeowner myself, and I know exactly what you mean. Home values, heck, even they're taxed worth more than really that's worth. Isn't that true? A little closing statement, right? So those sorts of nuances, when you understand that when you're negotiating with anybody for anything, emotion and drama will almost always kill it. Okay, so take this Gordon Gekko attitude out of your negotiations. I think you'll get a lot further. Okay, next. Always look at both sides or all sides of the transaction. So often as an agent, we're trained to go ahead and think about it in an adversarial way where, it's me versus you, there's a winner, there's a loser. It doesn't have to be that way. What you can do is just try and figure out from all sides of the equation who is what, who's really making decisions here. The seller sometimes, they're willing to take $2 or $3 grand off the price if they have the convenience of a couple days to do, maybe some just leaving whatever they want to behind. I don't know, but the thing is that you need to be willing to understand everybody's perspective, and the better you are at understanding everybody's perspective and meeting their needs, the greater the opportunity will be that you will be able to get this deal through. For example, if you're trying to flip an MLS property to another agent without a flex option, without a contract, and do that sort of thing like I do, then you've got to understand the nuances there, the negotiations really, that you want to look at what's important to them. To them, it's really important that it's at a great price. So I want to be cognizant of that when I'm making that offer. The third thing you want to think about with negotiations, and this is what you'll want to write down, is remember that this is not about you. Okay? This is primarily directed towards wholesalers or agents, okay? The negotiations are not about you, okay? And what I mean by that is, so often as agents, for example, we'll go to the escrow company and we'll do the closing and all of that. And what will happen invariably is the buyer will be a little short or the seller will be a little short, and you get in that awkward position where it's just a couple $100. Maybe you just shave it off and make it happen. And oftentimes the agent will do that, and that's called a commissionectomy. A lot of times we tend to think that it's our, we're making a lot of money at this, so let's cough up a couple $100 for this or that taxes or this or that HOA, or let me pay their taxes and get them into the, right mode so I can actually buy this thing. We want to help. The thing I could probably tell you is this, that, it's not about you. Okay, when you're talking about negotiations, it's not only about the negotiations you have with the purchase price of the house, but it's the negotiations you have to get to even make the contract. I hear a lot of people saying, well, should I pay the back taxes for the sellers or something like that? Listen, you're not the one who incurred the debt, so why are you the one who's paying for it? It's not about you. So let the seller, I understand you're saying, well, there's no deal. Believe me, if they've got money, for a night out, to go to the movie, or something like that, that's like $100 to take two kids out to the movies. Trust me, I just did it. So what I'm saying is, if the need is big enough, if the motivation's high enough, they will find the money. They will find the way. And the fact is, you're not the one who got them there, so why are you paying for it? That's just a personal, piece of advice. So those three things: emotion and drama kills negotiations. Always look at both sides or all sides of the transaction, and then of course remember, keep your commission out of it, or keep your fee out of it, or your consulting fee, or whatever you're negotiating for. Keep that out of it, because it's not your fault that this thing happened. You're here to provide a service. Sometimes tactically, yes, it does make sense to make a break to them or help people out. I'm not saying be a hard ass about it, but what I am saying is that understand that you shouldn't be trying to make yourself a non-profit by trying to help somebody. So anyway, that's the all-important topic of negotiations. Go out and sell something. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.